Today's video we're talking about purpose. And I've got to take this right back to when I was a little kid. The whole source, the beginning point, the origins of my decline into self-hate and all the struggles that I endured, it began when I lost touch with spirit. I remember clearly sitting on the primary school oval at lunchtime. There were these wooden benches that lined our school oval, and I'd remove myself, isolate and sit as an 8-9-year-old boy, and I'd philosophize. I'd talk to spirit or the universe, and I would challenge it and see if anything came back. This was when I figured out the power of now, the eternal now that is what we have, and it's what we must utilize if we're going to empower ourselves and empower our vision for the future. And it was one day when I was just thinking about creation, and I was thinking about punishing God and cause and effect and all this sort of stuff. And so I threatened the divine. I swore at it and waited for something. And when nothing came back, I decided that we certainly aren't spiritual beings, that we are products of evolution, and that we're just here by mistake. And that was the beginning of everything that dissolved as it unwound for me into depression, into the shadow, into the darkness, which was almost insurmountable for 15 years of my life. But the point of this story here is just to illustrate that a life without purpose is a life without reason. And life without reason is a life without meaning. And life without meaning is a hollow, empty place where we just drift, where we just define everything by our senses, bound by the ego that we are all separate, that it's a material world and we need to accumulate and acquire more stuff, and that we're competing and struggling and judging and blaming in this dog-eat-dog rat race mechanistic universe. And I could just, when this popped for me, and the realization that you could frame it any way you like, that I could look at it all in any way I wanted to, why would I choose this universe without meaning, without purpose, without reason, without compassion? From what we can see, there's a lot of unconscious, horrific behavior in the world that we're exposed to constantly through the nightly news. And it brought me back to this realization that when I found purpose and I lived that purpose, everything changed. My entire life changed. My self-perception changed. My strength changed. My love, my compassion, my creativity, my genius. It all came back to the natural resting state, which is our intrinsic power. It's our intrinsic genius, and being overflowing with love. Love for each other, love for what we do, love for being creators and just working with our hands. Because this is what we are in the end. The true self is a divine, loving consciousness that it's creative. It's created us, and we are creating back. But by being a conduit to the true self, we open this whole plethora of doors. The whole thing just opens up and it's expansive. And you're not a victim. We're not bound by external events, and we're just suddenly empowered, and we're creators. We are exercising free will, and we're dynamic. And what better place could we possibly want to live? And I was just saying to someone this morning that even if you don't believe anything that I teach, you could just grab the framework and do the reframe, because it's a far more positive, empowering place, paradigm to come from, to exist in, to co-create in. There's things we can change, there's things we can't change, but this up here, the frame that you can put around it, that reframe, you get to choose whatever you want, All of these challenges in our lives are opportunities All of them, they've always been. That's what they are. But the whole framework I have in place for myself now and what I teach to you all out there, this came when I reconnected with self-love. And when I reconnected with self-love, I found purpose. I see beauty now everywhere. I see opportunities in all events. So the message today is, if you live your purpose, if you practice this muscle of awareness and understanding that our survival and our depression, these are all born out of our past. These are all predictable patterns of behavior that we've just picked up along the way, and we're geniuses and they're tools, right? It gets us through. There's a lot of pain we don't have to deal with, and we manage the best we know how. But at this point of consciousness now, you get to choose whether or not you want to feed the pain of the past or do the reframe and empower yourself in the now. Free the past to empower the now. And it's up to you. Ultimately, it's completely up to you. But if you dig deep inside yourself and just go within, we're always looking out there for everything. Spirit, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, is within us. It's the true self. It's the fundamental part of all of us. But it's inside. And when we don't feel whole, we go looking outside and everywhere outside to try and change how we feel inside. But I just want you to come back to this. It's back to your heart, back to the seat of the soul, and just ground yourself and ask yourself these questions. What's my potential? What's my purpose? You know, what were those dreams I had when I was a kid? What can I do that no one else can do? What makes me unique? What do I kick ass at? What are those things I left behind from my past? And when you grab onto that little spark lights up inside you. That's the spark you need. That's the spark that the greats all through history have used. This is the Martin Luther Kings. This is all these incredible people throughout history that we wouldn't even know their name if they hadn't cultivated that little spark into a bonfire, into something that changed humanity forever. That framework is so important because if at the beginning of an endeavor, if we say, I can't, I'm not good enough, I'll probably fail, you will manifest that reality. That will become your destiny that you chose. And each one of these people that's influenced your life, each one of these heroes you have out there, these role models that you have out there, they all came up against the same things that we all do. But they just cultivated that little spark into something that had way too much momentum, way too much soul, way too much love in it to ever be extinguished. And they kept going until it was made manifest. So please don't shoot yourself in the foot at the outset of this endeavor. We're just getting started. This is the greatest time to be alive right now. There's so much opportunity everywhere. So when you go digging for that purpose, when you look inside, don't be your own naysayer. Don't cut off the oxygen before this can actually grow into something. Because you got this. There's nothing you can't accomplish. Absolutely nothing. It's everything that I've been talking about in this video, and the next step is just staying the course. It's, yeah, Damo, I got the inspiration. Yeah, for sure I was there, and it lasted 24 hours, or it lasted 6 days, and then back to the known. So the next video is going to be all about exactly how you supersede that, exactly how you kick ass every single day, you stay the course, and then you get to become one of these people that is remembered forever because you contributed to society, to humanity, because you embraced love and you lived with light and you lived your purpose. From my heart to yours, much love. Hey guys, hope you liked the video. If you can click like and subscribe, stay up to date with awesome free content.